Hey, welcome back. This is Tarot to a T. Today we're going to do a mid-July 2022 reading for the sign of Libra. And if this is your first time joining me, welcome. Glad you could stop by. And if you are returning, thank you so much for being a loyal subscriber, watcher, whatever you are, you're wonderful. And I appreciate you. So, if you have joined me before, I'm going to lay out a few cards and we're going to look at a situation you're dealing with, Libra, for mid-July. And then we're going to ask for some cards of advice. So let's get started. What can you tell me about Libra for mid-July 2022? Okay, here we go. And I did have the camera come off. There we go. Last video it just went off. I had to change the battery. I hope that doesn't happen again. Never had that happen before. It's kind of odd. Because I always put in a fresh battery and charge them. I don't use my phone. I actually use a honest-to-God camera on a tripod. So, anyway. Okay, let's look at some cards of advice before we open up the Libra can here. Let's look in the Libra can, and then we need cards of cards of advice for Libra. Oh, we saw that. That's okay. This is for mid-July 2022. The sign of Libra. Okay. Now we're getting kind of sticky. Oh, okay, we got it. Okay. Straighten her up. Let's get to it. Okay. That's not bad. You're moving on from something. Well, you're definitely moving on from something. My gosh. These eights are all about moving ahead. And you had some things kind of scrambled and moving around, I was going to say, but more like scrambling and being confusing perhaps with the Joker, and you're experiencing some kind of heartbreak or some kind of major letdown. Okay. With these eights, again, you're moving on from something. With the Eight of Clubs, you're looking at some kind of crossroads decision, and then with the diamonds, we're looking at some kind of financial I was going to say outlook, but like financial gain or some kind of abundance or success. Perhaps you had to make a decision that affected your finances or your abundance. But the Eight of Clubs is also about not being tongue-tied, but actually being stuck on something, like an idea. Crossroads decision can kind of mean that, or can mean like you're confused, like your heartstrings are pulling in two different directions, especially because you had some kind of major disappointment with this Seven of Hearts. It's also the card of doubt. Maybe you were doubting. I know about Libras and their need to weigh the options. This is a very, very Libra-like read because we have two different eight energies, and we have this element of doubt. The Joker, this is the colorized Joker. In the traditional tarot, you could look at this as the Magician card. I see that the Magician energy is kind of being kind of the wild card energy, but not in the sense that something unexpected and traumatic happens, but more like an element comes in that's almost magical, like an influence, comes in to change the situation from what it originally looked like it was going to turn into, for example. Perhaps this energy helped you make this decision. We definitely have to get some more cards on that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff kind of up in the air. I mean, in some ways it's very fixed energy. In some ways it's chaotic energy. So we have kind of both ends of the spectrum with that. Oh, okay. We have the other Joker. Wow. These cards are speaking tonight. This is the Fool card. You can look at that as, again, another type of scrambled, kind of chaotic energy, things getting shifted around, things just kind of moving faster than you like. The Fool energy, and that's mostly with the traditional tarot deck, it's someone being naive. They're not really fully aware of potential consequences or potential outcomes. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's almost, it's also, in some spiritualism, they talk about when you're trying to be spiritual and impartial, for example, it's best to be as open as possible and be like a fool. That doesn't mean be foolish, but, throw away the ego. Throw away with what you know. Very interesting, it will come out next to this fixed idea card and being stuck on an idea, but also at a crossroads. We definitely have a theme going here. I'm just not sure what it is. But if it fits with something that's going on with your life, then we're on the right path. Oh, we got the Two of Diamonds that just jumped out. This is about balance and harmony, especially in the area of money. I do think this involves some kind of financial decision. I mean, maybe it's a work situation. I didn't exactly see that come out. Because this fixed idea, crossroads, energy is usually around relationships. But, I mean, it could pertain to work. Anything's possible. Especially with this hard work paying off card. That a lot of times has to do with, people in small business who are in business for themselves, for example. Huh. Definitely have to get some more cards on this. Whoa, 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 whoa. You had some kind of major completion, though, in finances. Whatever you decided, or... Because I guess you did have to make a decision. It's paid off. This is fantastic. End of completion, and your finances being golden, honestly, in some form. You really, I want to say profited. That's kind of a crass way to put it, but you're experiencing some kind of great abundance here. This is great prosperity. I think I'm just going to have to go with the fact that you've had a lot of chaotic things happen in your life, and involved perhaps making some hard decisions here. But in the end, you very much came out very prosperous at this, and it brought your finances back into balance some way. But something had disappointed you in the beginning. I still think that's tied up to this decision, and that's not really being revealed to me. I'll ask for one more card, though. What was this decision that Libra had to make? Had something to do with your stability. Now, this does talk about relationships. So maybe somebody in your home life, because this is about like your significant other, your family, wasn't helping. Or perhaps they made a decision that disappointed you in some way, or they weren't helping you make this decision. Perhaps, they caused some of this chaos. That just kind of poured into my brain. So somebody in your family might have, I want to say, they got you into financial trouble, and you had to do some quick thinking to to get both of you out of it, the family out of it. But you came out really nice on the end of it. It's like you came in to save the day, and perhaps you didn't know how you were going to do that, but it worked out. Almost by magic. Magician. But you had a heavy heart about it. I guess having to do it. I guess it just kind of brought you down. I mean, we could look at it that way. Being disappointed that this financial dilemma occurred. Let's look at your cards of advice. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Jack of Diamonds. So we're still talking about our finances. Queen of Clubs. Again, we're looking at stability. Nice. And the Ace of Hearts. The new start. So you're starting over from whatever occurred here, and everything seems to be honestly cool. There's no problem. The Four of Spades is about some kind of stress relief and feeling very satisfied with the outcome. This is encouraging a new start. The Heart does talk about, you know, ending, if there was some kind of challenge. It's actually that it's like ending an argument or a dispute, but in this context, I'm looking at like the end of a challenge. That's what I keep hearing. But it is about family or somebody really close to you. And you just need to start over with this, I guess, and forget about this chaos. Advising you to kind of let that go, right? Not be concerned with it. You know, put it that way. Not like, oh, forget about it, just pretend it never happened, but just like set it aside and just go on and don't worry about it. It didn't cause any damage. The Queen of Clubs is interesting because she's a influential older female, or female energy, I should say. Never gender specific. I always need to mention that because yes, it could represent a female. It could even represent a fire sign. This is Leo, Sag, or Aries. But if it doesn't, it's just kind of the energy that's thrown out here, perhaps, that you need to take that position of being feminine in the sense that you're gentle and not coming across too domineering. Because the kings, in the context of these cards, to me, are more domineering, more controlling. So this is about kind of having still a power position, but a gentler approach. And the Jack of Diamonds is about young, inexperienced energy, especially around finances. So perhaps this was something where you felt out of your depths came up. So that's the word that popped in my mind. And when I used that sentence, that did not make sense. Out of your depths. Well, I guess that could. It's like you were thrown in the deep end. And you've gained some experience with that because the Jack is about someone who doesn't have experience. So going forward, you know, don't stress about it and just like start over. Not start over like you need to start something, but like just start from the beginning. Especially with this gentle approach, I see that tied into this heart energy, which is about caring and nurturing and support. You know, looking at it in a way that highlights the fact that you were supporting and nurturing somebody. That totally seems to fit, I feel like. Yes, and it completed some cycle of loss. So again, I think somebody, Libra, in your immediate family caused some kind of predicament or crisis here. It's also pointing to the fact that if you had to spend money in some way, that yes, that could be a loss, but it's completed. I guess you look at it as a loss, but it's also when I see that card pop up Ten of Spades in the area of advice, I feel like it's saying cut your losses. That's usually what I hear. Like, cut your losses. Yeah, it sucked. Or yeah, you had to really scramble to make this happen. But I think you had this element of magic that came in and kind of saved the day. Again, the unforeseen element that made it okay. Probably not in your control. And yes, it's definitely restored some kind of third-party energy. This is what this is about. I think actually, this is also the card of having some kind of trouble and being indecisive. I think this is where you were with this sense of loss. Like, it caused a lot of trouble for you. But that's something you want to let go of. In other words, you're having trouble letting go of, I guess, the impact of it. That is really what I'm feeling that it's saying here. That's certainly understandable. Yeah, because this didn't look fun, whatever this was, with the two jokers and being indecisive and knowing that you had to... It affected your finances in a huge way. But there was no major loss with that. I mean, there might have been a loss in the sense that... Because we did have that loss up here, but not down here. Maybe you're feeling somewhere deep down in your heart that you have lost something, and I guess you're struggling with that. So the advice is acknowledging you might be having this trouble. Let's get one more card before we wrap it up for Libra. We'll leave Libra on a positive note. Not that this is terrible, but it could be a little more positive. Oh, oof. Yes, my favorite card of completion. This is all about good news. And it's also about the card of travel. Now, doesn't mean you're traveling somewhere. You could be. If you are, it's for a good reason. It could be unexpected, but I also see it as traveling in the context of traveling from one emotion to the other. So if you're, and it did come out over here, so if you're stuck in fighting yourself with the sense of loss, I think you just kind of need to move mentally, emotionally, travel into this new mind space. Embrace this new start, especially with putting your heart in it. And this Ace of Hearts is also, to me, the reminder to think about what's important to you, what's close to your heart. You know, family is ultimately important. Family tests our patience. They can frustrate us. We get angry with people we love. Sometimes we get more angry at people we love than people we don't know very well, because they affect us more deeper, you know, on a deeper level. So it goes to make sense that you would be affected adversely as well as emotionally on the other end of really caring about a person. It could go either way. It could be tumultuous. So embrace traveling into a new headspace with this. That definitely wrapped it up in my mind, because I was like, where does the new start come in? Because we saw this, and this is all great, but it wasn't solidly showing me what this new start would be about. But that Ten of Clubs, Libra, that just kind of wrapped it up. I think that's beautiful. And don't forget to take care of yourself with the Four of Spades, okay? Make sure the stress relief is taken care of to remain stable and happy. Okay. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like to see the next video that comes out. I'm really excited because I think I'm actually going to get to bonus readings again. I haven't done that for a couple months. But I'm anticipating my schedule opening up and being able to put those out. If you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when it's out. And take care until I see you again.